we often find when we work with organizations that they're pretty far advanced in one or two of these areas, but the alignment of all three is really the goal. And without that, it can be very challenging for organizations to make progress. What we often see is that if organizations have people and technology, but not process, they are using tools and people are motivated, but there are inconsistencies in how practices are applied. For organizations that have technology and process, but lack in people, we do see that systems are aligned and procedures are defined, but the adoption of those systems can be weak and over time can be unsustainable. And in organizations that have very strong people and process, but lack technology, there is standardization, but the lack of automation can lead to inefficiency and inability to drive lower cost. So what we want to move towards is the middle of the Venn diagram. That's a state where people are following clear processes and they're empowered by the right tools.
On the people side, the organization had silos, right? Roles were shifting, and their project managers really had different approaches and tools. So there wasn't really a standard way of doing things. On the process side, the organization was really primarily built around asset management, not project delivery. So things like risk management, evaluation tools, structured workflows, none of that really was in place. And then on the technology side, a lot of platforms, right? There were some internal tools, some off-the-shelf systems, but they weren't really connected, right? So definitely there wasn't a single source of truth. So it really made it difficult to collaborate, difficult to measure performance, and even harder to scale.
For us, when we came in, we understood they had this framework. We were able to work within that, and we positioned the PMIS as a right way initiative, right? If you have a PMIS, it's going to help you deliver projects in the right way. And then when we went through our exercises with the leadership team, with the staff at the PMO, we were able to show why the PMIS was going to drive the success of all other initiatives, how that was the foundational element. And so being able to do that and show that in the course of leadership presentations and meetings with the staff, that really drove the implementation. It drove the success of the implementation and the continued efforts with that team.